All right, update. So my days are really up and down by day now. I've got some days that I'm really bad, like shaking in the hands and memory issues and all sorts of bad stuff. Then I've had some days that are kind of really good. I'm pretty energetic, I'm focused, kind of clear-minded. So it's all over the place. Not sure all of what's contributing to it, but the biggest thing that I'm doing now are cranial adjustments. So I have a chiropractor, and she is moving the plates in my skull around to change how the cerebral spinal fluid moves, which is interesting. It's definitely having effects. I hope they're good, good effects. So they seem like they probably are. They maybe are. So we'll see how that goes. The mind is really like a kaleidoscope, super hard to control. It's kind of chaotic. And over this fairly long time period, my physicality's gotten worse and my mind's gotten worse. So I've gotten weaker and less able to focus. Even though it goes up and down, the general trend is down, which is not good. So I tried going to a float tank recently, which was very interesting, right? Like sensory deprivation. I thought it might help clear my mind, let it focus. It really didn't. My mind went crazy just the whole 60 minutes, but it was an interesting experience nevertheless. I did have a really good day recently, and then I'm kind of hesitant as to what I should do on those days. Obviously, I need to get somewhat career focused because all that stuff has kind of been fried recently with all these issues, and I've had to let some good opportunities go. But I want to stay active and engage, especially my mind, when I can. So I'm not certain if I'm losing some abilities permanently or everything's temporary. I don't really know. But I started working on the four fours problem, which is really cool because you can come up with basically any other number by changing the operations between four fours. And that was 0 through 20, and this is 21 through 40, and I'm still missing like 5 on 21 through 40. But super interesting, nevertheless. And on my good days, today's kind of like a medium high day, right? So it's a decent day. And on my good days, I'm pretty good at things like math and reading comprehension. On other days, I can't really do math and I don't comprehend what I'm reading at all. And you usually just have to repeat things. So it fluctuates from day to day. But I also uh, I did one story in here, complete the story. I just did one. It's a very interesting exercise. They start out a story and then you complete it, but just for a page. And the next page has some different ones. I'm working on that, or I want to work on that, because I want to be able to put philosophical concepts into stories to explain them better, let them engage and connect a little better. So I plan on doing quite a bit more in that direction, just as an exercise. And I have two job opportunities I'm moving forward with. They're both commission sales for software companies, and my idea is that I can control my time a little bit more. So when I have bad days, I can kind of tone down exactly what I'm doing that day. On my good days, I can ramp it up a little more. Obviously, I'll have to deal with some rough appointments at certain times, but that's okay. And then I am looking into the Head and Spine, something like Head and Spine Institute near Detroit. And they do a lot of very traditional medicine types of things. And I want to see what they say, what their diagnosis is, or what their ideas are, and what their possible solutions are. I've looked at the different types of surgeries that they do, and I'm kind of conjecture a little bit, but educated conjecture that my deltoid, which is on the front of my C2, is pressing too close to the brainstem, messing up the flow of cerebral spinal fluid. It's either blocking it up, so I'm getting pressure from the fluid on my brain. It's blocking it, so like toxins are building up in my brain. Both of those would be bad. They would cause your brain to not function as well. So toxins building up in the brain would be a lot like Alzheimer's. Fluid on the brain is kind of like a concussion, which my symptoms are a lot like recurring concussion, like having a concussion just for a long, long time. And the other thing that someone mentioned is maybe the blood flow through my arteries is just messed up through my cervical spine, which is basically kind of suffocating the brain at times. So the bad thing about all three of those is they would all three cause some permanent damage. But both of the first ones could potentially be resolved with the surgery, where they go in through the mouth and right through the back, cut off part of the odontoid that's close to the brainstem. Something I would like to avoid, but something that I need to look into now, because it has definitely come to that point where I need to look into stuff like that. I've found some interesting courses to keep my mind active as well. Well, meditation. So I've had a hard time meditating, even though I did a year training with an Ashaya monk in meditation, and was excellent before. I mean, it went well and everything. But now my mind is chaotic. All right, it can't seem to be calmed down or turned off, and I can't really seem to control what happens next in my mind at all. Even more so than you normally can, right? Which is, you can't really control focus your mind much normally, anyways, and now I can't do it at all. And I'm going to dive into different types of meditation and play with that a little bit and see if I can get something to work in that direction. And obviously they can't. Like, meditation doesn't really take away like pain. It could potentially take away some of the like fear and nervousness I have about the future, about, you know, losing my memory, shorter lifespan, etc., etc. And it could help me cope with some of the pain, maybe, and help me focus a little bit more. So I'm going to focus in that direction some. So I know it was a while since I had this, and I gave a speech on one of my bad days this last Friday, because today's Tuesday. This last Friday, I gave a speech, and the Friday before that, 2 Fridays ago, I had to pull out of a speaking contest, which is very unfortunate because I wanted to do that, but I'd been feeling really bad in a couple of days leading up to that. And then this last Friday, I had a speech, and I was bad. My hands were shaking a little bit, and it was really foggy, not good. So I wrote out notes, and I gave the speech anyways. And one of the guys, I talked to him afterwards, and he was saying he could see me shaking a little bit, but it didn't seem too bad. And the feedback on the speech was pretty good. So I was kind of surprised about that. I was a little nervous about being in that mental and physical state and giving a speech, but the feedback was all good. And then the next day, I had a really good day. I was pretty clear. I was pretty steady. And then the next couple of days, I kind of declined a little bit. And then I wasn't very good this morning, but I had the cranial adjustments today, and what we do is 3 times a week. So Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I go in and have those. She adjusts them one time, then I wait like 20, 30 minutes, and she adjusts again. So technically, I have 6 adjustments a week normally. But afterwards, I felt really tired for a while, probably like an hour, and then I felt pretty good. Like my head has never stopped hurting since a very long time. Somewhere over 400 days I'm at. But I seem decently steady. I was shaking a little bit this morning. I seem decently steady now. Maybe not perfect, but really close to steady. And my mind seems a little more clear. You know, a little foggy, but not too bad. And my energy seems pretty decent. So that's good. That's a point for the cranial adjustments. So, and then I had digital motion X-rays fairly recently. I can't remember when that was exactly, but it's X-rays when you're moving, and those revealed some instability up near the top of my cervical spine, which makes sense because it's compensating for my fusions and some limited movements. Which obviously I've some odd things. I have an extra set of ribs off the bottom of my spine. I have an extra vertebrae at the base of my spine. I have all these fusions up near my neck. So it moves a little odd, which makes sense, but maybe I can work to increase some of that. So those are my latest updates and some of the things that I'm going to be doing moving forward. So until next time.